3 Nigeria Info, Sam Oracle Chinedu here. Now we begin at the beginning with stakeholders reacting to the arrest warrant for the RSIEC chairman. And they have said that retired Justice Adolphus Nebeli, they're reacting. They said it's against the principle of fair hearing and the law. A lawyer, Vincent Chukwu, says the lawmakers should have waited for the reported court case involving the commission and its summons to the House of Assembly. Let's hear from that lawyer.
Arrest warrant issued pursuant to the powers conferred on the State Assembly to bring persons whom it has invited to attend. Having gone to court, that arrest warrant can no longer be executed until the court determines otherwise, and the court can as well set it aside, depending on the relief sought by the applicant. If the arrest warrant is being issued in an inappropriate manner, the court will set it aside, and then also inquire into why it should not.
On his part, the spokesman of the Emeka Beke-led APC in the state, Darlington Wuju, described the warrant of arrest to the commissioners and chairman, while there's an existing court case, as anti-democratic move and insult to the judiciary.
Well prepared in order to
stay with us.
Figures and the law says.
The lawmakers, including the House Leader, Major Jack, expressed their displeasure during a debate about it in the House.
I think it's high time we make them understand that we are here for business and not for joke.
We've taken enough from you, Mr. Speaker. I support Nebeli should be arrested. It's high time we arrested him.
Okay, you heard that. Now, the Speaker, Martin Amehule, issued the arrest warrant after a unanimous vote.
Commissioners who failed to appear before the 10th River State House of Assembly will now be compelled by this House via the warrants issued under the seal of the Speaker to the Nigeria Police to bring them here to answer questions. And this will be done immediately.
Now, earlier, 3 former members of RSIEC who recently resigned their appointments, Lasbury Nna, Professor Simeon Welly, and Ibierembo Thompson, appeared before the House. They were grilled by the lawmakers on their various roles in RSIEC during the elections. 2 of the former commissioners spoke to newsmen after the sitting.
The election that we conducted last was annulled by the Supreme Court.
Of people usurping the duties of the commissioners, and when it comes to blame, we all begin to bear the blame. So I don't want to go through that hassle anymore.
Okay, so this is where we are. And the arrest warrant has been issued, and stakeholders are reacting. They're stating that it is unconstitutional. That's for those who reacted. So, let's start from the top. The first statement in this report says some stakeholders say the arrest warrant by the River State House of Assembly for the chairman of RSIEC, retired Justice Adolphus Nebeli, is against the principle of fair hearing. So that's what I want to pick, the principle of fair hearing. And of course, a question would follow. What is the principle of fair hearing? And if you look it up, the result you'll get is a fundamental legal right that ensures that all parties involved in a legal proceeding are treated fairly. And that same search result produces that fair hearing should possess these qualities. 1, a notice. Parties must be given notice of the case against them. 2, an opportunity to respond. Parties should be given a fair chance to respond to the evidence against them. 3, an opportunity to present their case. Parties should be given the chance to present their case in person or with legal representation. And finally, an impartial decision. Parties should receive a decision from an impartial judge. These are the factors, the ingredients of fair hearing. So the question now is, does this seem like it applies the logic of fair hearing? And you just follow the story to where it is right now and ask yourself, have the parties been given a notice, an opportunity to respond, opportunity to present their case? And will they get, this one is in the future, an impartial decision? The question is that is not just about how, but what. Rather, it's not about what, but how. How elections were conducted with a budget that was invalidated by the Supreme Court? Yes. If the Supreme Court says the house that the governor recognized is not recognized by law, and that's the house you presented a budget to, and it's on that budget that elections were run, then you need to explain. So what has to be explained? But the how is where the problem lies. How do we explain? Do you have to be invited to the house? Do you have to be given an ultimatum? Does an arrest warrant? Is it necessary? So all of this argument is about the how. It's not about what. There should be an explanation, but how should we go about it? Do we chase those that should explain? Do we summon them? Do we give them ultimatums? If they don't show up in a couple of hours, do we order their arrest? So this is where the problem lies, in the how. Well, the case is currently before a court, and hopefully we get the answer. Because the RSIEC chairman is said to have dragged the House of Assembly to a state high court in Port Harcourt, challenging his summons by the lawmakers. And a legal practitioner has also lent his voice to the cause. Mr. Henry Ekine, he says, while the law clearly empowers the legislature to ensure accountability of public funds, it must be done in an orderly and not appear dictatorial. Ekine said the RSIEC chairman has the right to seek redress in court if he is not satisfied with how the Assembly is handling the matter. So it's a question now of satisfaction. And I'd like to apply these principles to my personal life, and I'm not trying to trivialize it. Think of your personal relationship. Your partner is asking you something or making demands. If you are not satisfied with how those demands are made, my dear, I'll see you in court.
The purpose for Parliament to oversight public funds is actually to ensure that they are properly expended or applied, or to see whether they are adequate or inadequate, where they probably will appropriate more funds, or to even see whether there will be need to legislate or amend certain legislation with respect to that agency. The time here in River State and in this country is about the manner it's being handled. Otherwise, the House has the power and then the Commission has the obligation to respond. However, the Commission has a right as well, where it is not properly done, and then to take redress in court.
Okay. So it takes us back to the question of how. I've seen situations where there was a problem. We're trying to settle the problem. And demands were made of a person. And the person said, no, I don't like how that person is. I said, okay, please talk to him well so that he can answer the question. So the problem we have in River State right now is the how. The what will not be questioned to how an election was conducted on a budget that the Supreme Court said. The question now is, how should we go about making those demands or that request? So hopefully, the court will tell us how. I'll open the phone line shortly for you to be a part of the conversation. We're moving from that to the next headline, where our very own president, President Bola Tinubu, has assured Nigerians, that would be you and I, that as the economy improves, professionals leaving the country will return. That's interesting. Speaking on Monday in Abuja at the launch of a planning committee for the National Youth Conference, President Tinubu said ongoing reforms aim to create a better future for young people. That's interesting. Okay. What else has our president said? And he urged the youth to take part in building the nation. Let's see if we can hear from the president. I'm hoping I have that. Oh my. Okay. I don't have that here. So, what I'm about to share is my personal opinion. So please do not take that as a stand of Nigeria Info, but it's Samarako Chinedu's position. What the president has said sounds very much like what the Englishman calls a broken record. And it describes a statement or a position where something is repeated so often to a point where people are beginning to get annoyed with it. I know that I've heard this many times. I heard this statement more times than I can number when former President Buhari was the president of this country. We didn't just hear it from the government sources, we even heard it from the people. At the dawn of his presidency, when he was about to become president, 2015, I remember someone clearly said, all these people that ran abroad, they will come back because Buhari will fix this country. And of course, people argue, say, you don't know what you're saying, this and that. I said, don't worry. He will fix our country. I said, okay, that's amazing. Well, I don't want to prove you wrong. I want my country to work, but I have my doubts. And we've heard it for as many times as the president wants to defend his president is saying it again. So you can see why it does sound like a broken record by the president. Sounds like, imagine I tell you, if Nigeria has constant power supply, I'll stop buying fuel for my generator. What would you say to me? Exactly. Whatever you said is exactly what you would say. It's a no-brainer. Because if you think about it, people don't really want to leave the country. If Nigeria worked, people would not want to leave. Go and ask anybody that has jackpot. Ask them how much it cost them. If things were okay here, why would they want to go there? The reasons why they will go would very likely be for talk. And what people go for are the basics, basic amenities, security, some things you complain about in Nigeria. But many of them do not have amazing jobs. Everyone has someone. You have a family member, a friend, or someone you know that has left the country. And if you have constant conversations with them and they are being honest, they will tell you that they have regular, maybe even menial jobs. But because when you convert that currency to Naira, it's as if you can buy something that will fool a truck. That's why it seems like life is better. But if things worked in Nigeria, I want to do a business, I have ideas, I'm not thinking about power supply. And young people who genuinely have skills and ideas can thrive. Why would I want to go to another country? What am I looking for there? You hear people devastated and frustrated about simple things like, I've not eaten African food since I came here. Yes, Mr. President. If Nigeria works, the professionals will come back. And the professionals we have here will not leave. So what are you going to do about it? These kinds of statements are better expressed through action. Because we've heard this one many times. And the thing is, a president comes, spends time, makes promises, serves his term, and then leaves. The promises are made during campaign before he becomes president because, of course, he has to convince you. Then he becomes president and makes fewer promises than the campaign. Now he has the mandate. We'll fix the economy. We'll ensure that the poorest of the poor are no longer poor. Then he leaves office. And as what has become culture, a few things he couldn't do when he was there, and even gives recommendations as to a better working system. It's a blueprint. IBB did it. Obasanjo did it. Goodluck did it. They all have books published after they were president. So, forgive me for feeling some kind of way about this statement, but I've heard it too many times by too many presidents. This one time, can action do the talking? But the statement is that the president assures Nigerians that as the economy improves, professionals leaving the country will return. He didn't add this one, but I'm adding it. And professionals in the country will not leave. It's time for you to be a part of the conversation. The next headline is that the PDP is kicking against the call for Fubara's impeachment. 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 080-903-06-416. I believe we're live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I'll confirm that in a bit so you can watch, listen, and engage. I need to make this your talk time is 1 minute, 30 seconds. Please have that in mind. From Bori. Good afternoon, Clinton.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sam Oracle.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Very well.
All right. Talk to me.
And I want to start by saying that the warrant of arrest issued by the House of Assembly is not out of place. They are empowered by virtue of our own Constitution. Section 128 and Section 129 empowers them to do what they just did. Now, you were a public officer or you're a state public officer. You are called, you're summoned to appear before the House. On 2 occasions, you refused to appear. I even watched on the video when they brought a letter to his office once, and they were pushing the Korean man out of the office. They refused to accept the letter. What is there? Why can't you come and explain what happened? Because that's just what they're looking for. You did not do it. Now, all what to do in this part of the world is to attach emotions to everything. Today, we are where we are today. The Supreme Court has delivered judgment. Now they are now the House of Assembly members. Why can't you obey them? So I think that people should not attach emotion to this and do the right thing. Then finally, on the statement of Mr. President, that those are professionals that have left the country will come back. I think that we must look inward first. What are the things we put in place that will make this more interested in coming back to our country? Or those things are sorted out. I don't think that it's necessary to be making this kind of statement.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clinton. You just might have a timer because it's 1 minute, 28 seconds. Let's see if Gift can stick to that time. Gift from Yenugua, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sam Shinedu Oracle.
Good afternoon.
A funny man.
Okay.
If we stick to the time. I will stick to the time, don't worry.
All right, please go ahead.
The truth of the matter is this. Just like Clinton was saying, a public officer. Do you know that man who ran to court is a former justice of this very state? How can you run to court when you were asked to come and give account of your stewardship? I don't know the problem of we Nigerians. The laws are laid down. You are aware. In fact, when they screened you before you were appointed, these were the questions they asked you. And today now you're running away. And the lawyer will come on air. From nowhere, suddenly, you are telling us that you have found money. And it was not even appropriated by the House of Assembly. No approval, no nothing. And the person who is claiming PDP, that person, go and check, is one of those commissioners that Supreme Court fired because the person who screened him was a forum head, which is Oko Jumbo, that they claim is the speaker. The one of Mr. President, he has said it all, he's working towards it, he should continue to work towards it, and let me stop here so that it will work towards it, and let me stop here so that it will be within the time limit.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Oracle. You see, Oracle. You see, they're making a political and a campaign statement to attract sympathy. See, the era of sympathy is gone. When Nigerians, if I cannot eat very well under your government and I should sympathize with you, when I'm supposed to be eating chicken, then your leadership caused me to be drinking garri and be breaking kernel to drink garri, then you will expect me, when you make statements like this, I should now begin to clap hands. You see, those campaign for 2027 we are very much wiser than those campaigns. When the campaign come, let him write 62 books of campaign so that when the time comes, you talk more. We want to hear more because this is not the first time we have been hearing all these things. And nothing will be done because as I speak to you, all the politicians in this country already the election for 2027 has started. So they have abandoned, most of them have abandoned for the president, as many defections that is already eating.
Right, Isaiah.
Racing from RSIEC to others, you can see.
Okay.
Now, to the invitation.
The time is up, Isaiah. Thank you very much. That's 1 minute, 30 seconds. Godson from Rumukrushi. I lost that call. Call back if you can. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. A message on WhatsApp reads, "Good afternoon, Sam Oracle. On the resignation or impeachment of Governor Sim, it is very clear rat and cat cannot live together in the same room. The governor must brace up his game. The die is cast since the House members are waking up from their slumber for the past years since their paymaster was the governor. Let's see how this scene 2 of this our film will come to an end." Odimegu Sonny Didier from Omerilu says. And Pastor Athanasius Patrick from HA says the assembly members are not of the rules of the House, whether the time is short or not. If you have nothing under, what you should do is ask for extension while running to court. Okay, Wanete West says, the warrant for the arrest issued to Justice Enebeli and others is injustice. The Supreme Court judgment does not make the River State House of Assembly an emperor's... Okay, I didn't get that. Let Justice Enebeli and others begin. Jude calls from Oma. Good afternoon, Jude.
Yes, Sam.
Good afternoon.
The House of Assembly inviting Justice, the judge or the justice who conducted the local government election to appear before it within 48 hours. Why they have a right to summon anyone? The invitee who has a right of defense, self-defense, or his right of judgment, right of choice, right of everything. Now they have invited Justice Meregin to come within 48 hours. The mood of invitation is what bothers me. Mood of invitation, like military dictator, asked Justice Meregin of that level. When they had gone through it, they would now invite him for defense. This is a reasonable way to do it. Come and defend what he has submitted to us. And not those, I don't want to call them boys, inviting Justice Meregin, come within 48 hours. And he is going to stand before them.
Sue calls from Merema. Susie, good afternoon.
I greet you, my brother.
Please go ahead.
Let me start by, when you started, you talked about the issue concerning what is democratic and what is also undemocratic. Like I've listened to some of the voices who are anti-invitation to Justice Enebeli, the RSIEC chairman. When we talk about the rule of law, are invitations or arrest by a police or issuance of whatever not within the ranks of the rule of law in a state, or is it a military junta? Notice also meet the requirements of the rule of law, and they have applied that. We do not know what the rules of the House is. When the Martin Zamewule was reading out the provisions of the Constitution, what empowers them, I'm sure the Constitution did not also provide how many hours should be used to actually issue the warrant of arrest after a notice must have been given to somebody. And he reneged on that notice. What do you expect the House to do? We are speaking out of prejudice. Even the lawyer, and that is Tinubu, who is talking, they are talking out of prejudice. They know that what the assemblies are doing, they are empowered. My brother, you know the level of power the judgment of the Supreme Court has given to the River State House of Assembly as we speak. So whatever they are doing now cannot be said to be anti-democratic.
Okay, Susie.
Because the elements of democracy are within the law.
Thank you very much. That's 1 minute 30 seconds. Chima calls from Rumokuta. Good day, Chima.
Hello. Good afternoon, Mr. Oracle.
Good afternoon.
Oracle, I do not know what is intricate about the invitation of the commissioner, RSIEC chairman. Because from what I saw, he is supposed to be a retired judge, which means the law should be within his ambit. Now the issue here is that now you are invited. If you know you won't come, you would have sent a message or whatever, writing them back to give you time. Rather, you run to court because maybe you have money. But since it is in court now, I won't want to say much because I don't want to contend to the court now or preempt the court. But the issue is that I know it's not going to get a result because I remember one Philip Panana aided them that time about that election. I don't hear about Philip Panana again in their mouth. I mean, I want that lawyer again. Then the aspect of the PDP people that are talking about against the impeachment of the governor, I don't understand whether they don't know what is actually happening in the governor. It's a very bad thing, especially when he is doing something that is wrong according to the Constitution. Ordinarily, I am supposed to be, I don't know what to say, whether I will be melancholy about our governor in Rivers State because he is the only governor that has gotten such recommendation from the Supreme Court and the Appeal Court. As it stands now, I am under a democratic dictatorship. You understand what it means? We are looking for how a governor will come and become a democratic governor. And you're telling us nothing. But meanwhile, he is going to be impeached according to the law.
Thank you very much. That's 1 minute, 30 seconds. Christian calls from Bonny Island. Hello, Christian.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, yes. You said there should be fair hearing in this case of Justice Anabule and the rest of them.
That's right.
And not just pertaining to these people alone. I think with everything that is happening, even to the governor, they should be given fair hearing. That is the meaning of democracy and going to the lawsuit or to the court, where the justices are expected to go into, hearing from both sides and begin to judge and apply the Constitution, the laws before them. But what is happening now is like they don't even consider the genesis of this whole problem. What made the governor to take the decision he took? Where did it start from? The problem started from distraction to APC and the threat that they are calling back to do what? You understand? That is the think there will be justice. This country will go forward. With such people think there will be justice. This country will go forward. With such people. It cannot.
Thank you, Christian.
This is the problem. This is the problem we are facing as a people. No sincerity. There's no justice.
Thank you very much. We have a break coming up. After the break, I'll take a few messages from WhatsApp. Please stay with us.